Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation, bringing you guys a game between Virtus.pro and Evil Geniuses. This is going to be a best-of-3 series, round 2. This is the lower bracket, and this is going to decide which one of these two teams, which have already lost to Alliance and Mouse Sports respectively, which one will be eliminated at the very beginning of this cup here. So one of them is going to go home with $1,000, the other is going to be guaranteeing themselves at least $2,000. From this Season 5 Cup here, as they are one of the 4 teams to qualify from the 7 seasonal cups there. So moving on into the draft here, we're going to see, in starting off Game 1, how they want to start off the match, how they want to start off with their strategies, if they're going to go for something to catch the opponent off guard, or maybe something that's just tried and true, and try to see if that will be sufficient. Either way, going on into it, Virtus.pro taking out Bat Rider and Keep It Alight. Evil Genius is going to take out Gyrocopter and Darkseer themselves. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Blaze. Here's Triumph Man. What's going on?
Interestingly enough, Wisp is still in the pool. So we could be seeing a Wisp get knocked out here. Especially, oh, there we go. EG going to snap it up before Virtus. I was about to say Virtus.pro would be a team who would love to get their hands on that Wisp. And EG go, yeah, that's not going to happen. We're going to use that for ourselves. The question is, can they put it to work against VP? And this, of course, also leaves the VP's sort of signature carry that they enjoy using, the Nagasarum. That's in the pool if they want to grab that up as well. Tends to get banned second phase against them. I think they may avoid picking it up first during their first couple of picks. They'll save it for the second phase just to make sure. And they're going to grab up the Chaos Knight. I think this is a smart move just to make sure EG can't pair it with the... To be honest, there are a lot of things that work really well with Wisp, but Chaos Knight's just pretty much the top level of those sort of strength semi-carry carries that work extremely powerfully with Wisp, but he is definitely the best just because of the way it works. Reality Ripped, it pretty much guarantees an instantaneous tether stun, which is very, very effective.
Exactly. So this draft so far is more of not so much what we want, more so what do they want that we don't want them to have. And in this situation, the NS, an amazing Wisp player, taking that out is very, very important if you want to be able to survive on through the mid-game. But on top of that, of course, with Wisp on the field, you don't want them to be able to pair with CK. Not a carry that you would generally prefer, but in this case, you can still make it work, and most importantly, they don't have it to pair with the IO. On top of that, they love the Furion. They have played it multiple times over. KSI, Furion Master is going to be able to play that on the offlane in just a little bit here. But Evil Geniuses as well secure the Chen for themselves. So they're going to be able to micro effectively to try to control the early game, because that's really what Chen's all about, is ganking and pushing very early on while he's still at his most relevant through control of the neutrals. And that'll be interesting to see how effectively he manipulates those, but until that time, we'll have to see how else they round out their lanes, because right now, not the strongest. Chen in the jungle, once he gets some good creeps, like maybe the Dark Troll Summoner, will be able to gank effectively, but beyond that, not as much presence, and along with that IO, kind of limited in that area himself.
Yeah, their lanes are going to be kind of not fantastic. They're going to be fairly passive. But here's the thing. During the mid-game, this is why I'm kind of surprised Virtus.pro let them have it, let them have the Chen, is because he adds so much burst heal down the tether line. And it's going to make whoever Wisp is healing up is going to be really, really obnoxiously hard to kill. Now, this is the thing, though. There is a weakness, and it's the fact that Wisp is essentially the weak link here. If you can either burst down, target by the Wisp quickly, or just get rid of him. This is the other reason I've always sort of thought that EG might get rid of and ban out the Disruptor with the next couple of bans, but they decided to leave it in there because A, NS, as we know, plays a really good Disruptor, and B, because you teleport in, then Disruptor says, actually, Wisp, go home, or whoever is bringing in says, you know what, you go home, and gets rid of them. So they've left that on the field there, and Virtus.pro are looking for supports right now as well. They picked up their solo mid, they picked up the Chaos Knight, so I'm just wondering if EG will ban that out, or pick it for themselves, because of course Static Storm is just flat out nice. As well as the Glimpse. It's just a really powerful, especially if you're planning to go... Well, in this case, I don't think they would, because I think they want someone with a little bit more solid disable, because, as we mentioned, they've already got their supports, and unless they wanted to run unless something really weird like Wisp mid, or just put Wisp in the... We've seen this happen before, Wisp sort of just jungles. He focuses a lot on, just flat out focuses on pulling, and just tries to get as much money as he can. But we also EG grab Kunkka up instead, just to go toe-to-toe with OD in the mid.
Yeah, there is a possibility of Kunkka going in mid, and then IO pulling as much as possible from the easy camp, breaking down the trees with Tether, trying to make that work for him. But yeah, in general, I don't think a Disruptor would be much adding to their lineup here, because as we were looking, they need disables. They need some presence in the lane, and Disruptor, he adds some nice damage, but generally speaking, other than some harassment, he's not going to be as controlling as he needs to be. And now they're up against a very, very strong disabler and initiator. Earthshaker is going to be supporting it up, one that we haven't seen in quite some time. Phantom Assassin as well, a newcomer as far as this kind of meta in the past few days at the very least. But yeah, Virtus Pro's lineup, a lot of disable through Chaos Bolt and all of Earthshaker's abilities, but answering back, Evil Geniuses have a heck of a lot of potential damage output through Kunkka's Cleave and Phantom Assassin's crits.
Yeah, no, I think this is a decent answer to, like, it's similar to using a Chaos Knight. It's not as durable, but with the Chen on the board, the fact that they've managed to pick up the Chen, managed to fix one of PA's biggest issues, the fact that she is squishy, really, really fragile and easy to beat up and target fire. So if she just, like, I mean, she just rushes a BKB with the attack speed increase from Tether, like, this is really going to help her proc those crits. And the other thing is, of course, OD's, like, sort of weak point is the fact that he doesn't have a lot of armor, so he's pretty easy to cut through if you've got the physical damage output. So they get the physical damage output that's really going to help out. And I mean, even if like they find some native armor items, I mean, they don't have the innate skills. They don't really have anybody who can rush. Don't really have anybody who can rush a medallion in there, unless they really wanted to put it on Phantom Assassin. But I think she's better served with other items, to be honest. I was going to say Virtus Pro might do an offensive trial, because I mean, they have offensive trialing, they could really, really mess up PA's day. Because Wisp is not great backup by himself, and like you mentioned, Chen is going to take a little while to come out and fight with his creep, so that could really ruin her time. But the problem is they don't have the range supports. Like, you'd probably want 2 range supports, to be honest. You want a Shadow Demon and, say, a Lina or a Leshrac. They picked up the Earthshaker instead, and to be honest, he's more defensive than anything else. And on top of that, they're up against Phantom Assassin, who has a pseudo blink now. So not only do you have to trap off the Phantom Assassin with the Fissure, you've also got to catch out the support as well and get him on the wrong side, or even the creep, because I mean, she can jump to them if she wants. But Lion, the final pick here.
Yeah, really, really interesting draft coming out from Virtus Pro, and even more interesting from Evil Geniuses. Wow. I don't know why you would pick a Broodmother when you're up against the Earthshaker, is the first thing I'm going to say. Wrath of Nature from Prophet is, you can soak that up quite a bit, but it's still going to kill your push potential when he does get his level 6. But the big thing there in my mind is Echo Slam versus Brood. I mean, it seems like an EG draft throw right here, but there is still a lot of potential in it. Bambo has shown Broodmother to be very effective, even in the current metagame. We'll just see how active Virtus Pro is in centering down and trying to lock down the Broodmother.
I think their thought here is that they're going offensive tri-lane. Mm-hmm. So we counter that by going, Nature's Prophet's going to be safe lane, and we know he's not, like, Nature's Prophet's safe lane is fine for Nature's Prophet, but the problem is he has no tools whatsoever to help deal with Broodmother early game. Mm-hmm. So she is probably going to chew his tower to bits, or at least put a ton of pressure on that lane. And if they can, I mean, if they pick up early towers, that's going to help make up for the fact that Chen, Io, and PA are going to be under a lot of pressure. That'll help them get up to speed. So as long as she can put pressure up here and force rotations at some point to deal with it, that'll open up room for PA to get some quick items. Because like we mentioned, like, PA is not the hero. Like, sure, she can work towards a late game, but towards that sort of 25-30 mark, she gets a core item. She can dish out a lot of damage. And considering the buffs that she can get out of Tether as well, that's also pretty big. I think my biggest worry here is just that they won't significantly catch up to supports in time. Because Wisp needs levels. He really, really needs those levels, and I don't know if they'll be able to find them.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, at the very least, both Wisp and, like, obviously Chen is going to be in the jungle, which he may actually get ganked in a second, but both Wisp and PA can escape the fissures at the very least, but they are up against quadruple disables. We can consider the fact that Lion has 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going on through the lineups, just looking over at Virtus Pro, what they have run, it's going to be NS taking up the slot of the Earthshaker. KSI is going to be on the Nature's Prophet, as usual, and TMW, aka Crazy, is going to be on that Outworld Devourer. The final ones will be Illidan, who is going to be carrying it up on the Chaos Knight, and then Arzart, who is going to be running out on Lion. So that is the lineup for Virtus Pro. How about on Evil Genius' side?
Now, on EG, they have got Fear playing Phantom Assassin, Jo on the IO, Demon playing Kunkka, Bambo playing Broodmother, and Beaters playing Chen. So it looks like they'll have a dual lane bottom, essentially, with Fear as well as Jo, going to be running that together. Meanwhile, Beaters going to open up the jungle, and they will just have, of course, Broodmother on top lane. Bambo playing his signature, super aggressive Broodmother, who has in fact been pulled extra regen. And he is actually, I think they might have miscalculated, because it looks like he's actually going to be going against, well, I was going to say I try. Oh, wait a minute. We've seen this before. We have
Two
seen
and
this
two.
before. They're going to get up to some shenanigans here with NS's Earthshaker. It's just going to try and jack the creep away from Fear and slow him down.
Yep, that's the
In
intention.
towards the Ancients.
Pulling in towards the Ancients with the Fisher blocks is still legal in this tournament and pretty much any. And in this situation, it's going to really, really screw over Fear in his early game farm. Because there's really little you can do to stop a PA from last hitting once she gets a couple levels in the Stifling Dagger, even putting a lot of damage pressure in. So instead they're like, okay, well, we'll just make sure the creeps never get to you. You'll never get those levels, you'll never get that farm. And that's going to be very frustrating to deal with. Meanwhile, in top lane, they've already accounted for the Broodmother's positioning by dropping down a sentry up top, underneath both of the, right in between both the webs. So Bambo wants to get close to the creep wave, but doesn't really have the HP regen to always make it worthwhile.
I mean, on the plus side, this is going to slow down PA quite a bit. On the other side, it means they're not going to get picked off. So, I mean, they're going to be a little bit slower, but they're not going to lose money and just feed experience and God out of this. Because, I mean, Jo is really, really vulnerable to, like, triple harass. Like, auto attacks crush him. He's on... It says 0 armor here, but it's actually 0.04 negative armor to start off with. Like, Wisp actually has negative armor at level 1. That's how easy it is to hurt him with auto attacks. He dies so damn quick to it, and especially with his starting strength of 17. And the fact he's pulling all this extra regen to other heroes, it's really, really problematic. It looks like Kunkka's getting a bit of help mid, though. They've started off with Wildkin harassing Tame My Wild.
Oh, Jay coming up on the high ground, going to take a couple of hits from NS. But the big interesting move that I'm seeing come out of KSI is that he's blocking out for the Treants, even though I think the Sentry Ward might be in range to block it. If it's not, then it's an obvious move, but otherwise it's kind of an interesting little mind game where it's like they think it's being blocked by Treants, but in reality there's a Sentry the whole time. And in that case, they're not going to move to disengage on it. We do see Bambo in a bad spot, though. The Sentry Ward does drop on down. He goes for the Impale, but they're not going to get in range for the Reality Rift to try to actually bring him down. So Bambo skirts on out of there. Still in pursuit. I don't think they're actually going to be able to close the distance, though, no matter how fast CK may be.
I think they're fine. I think he's fine because if necessary, he's got another web. There we are. I mean, he's got the other web there. He's going to jump away. They don't have another ward on them, so he'll just slip away into that, and he will be able to just heal up. In fact, he's even going to harass Illidan a little bit, just as a sort of a final screw you. Now, here we go. Smoke up here from Beaters. Going to use the Hellbear to lead the way. I think they're actually going to try and disrupt Nature's Prophet, who is in fact not there anymore. He's just backed up. I do like the ward. Well, actually, no, the ward's expired or been dewarded. I think it actually might have been dewarded. It's gone now. That blocking ward, but he's still using the Treants anyway.
Yep, and that'll be sufficient to make sure they don't have anything going on for themselves. Unfortunately, they did just place an Obs ward right underneath the Sentry, and that should be cleaned up easily. They don't see it right now, but if they do have that direction, they will have full vision of that perspective. On the other hand, we do see the Sentry ward dropping down the Ancients to try to disrupt Earthshaker's shenanigans, so we'll see that there coming on through. Beaters trying to micro up this creep, but he has no experience right now, but he's going in on TMW, gonna go and get the prison off successfully, but now here comes a lot of right clicks that should be able to finish him off. Close at hand, Torrent is not gonna connect, and I think he's actually out of here successfully. Beaters instead gets killed under tower from a Fisher, and TMW walks away, amazingly.
And Wisp, oh man, could have almost got him, almost so close. His attack, his attack point is really, I think it's like 0 or 0.15. It's really, really low. You can orb walk, like essentially attack walk like crazy with Wisp. Unfortunately, the 315 base move speed from OD eventually overcame him. OD's pretty quick on his feet initially. And again, this OD has opened up with a bottle again, so he's going to go for some room control. But it looks like the shenanigans in the bottom lane are at an end, unfortunately for Earthshaker. That counter ward they placed and also spotted out the dire side counter ward and managed to pick that off. So they're out of counter wards now because they've already used one down bottom as well, so they have to invest another one. They actually didn't manage to find that observer ward before the radiant counter ward fell off, so it looks like they're going to keep this camp blocked for quite some time as Kunkka manages to cleave his way in mid to victory.
It's actually just a blind Torrent. He didn't even use the Tidebringer there. It was just the OD was low enough and the Torrent connected, so really nice by him. Down at bottom, Earthshaker taking a lot of hits. Should be enough to bring him down with this last dagger, right click. Yeah, KSI going to try to turn around, but gets Tether stunned up. However, Fear underneath is going to have to tango on out. Still taking a lot of harassment here.
Now, unfortunately, Tango's finished render. The early sprout's pretty useless there. I'm honestly surprised. Demon is tearing up Virtus Pro at the moment. In the mid, Tame My Wild is not going too well against us at all. He's not managed. There we go. He's finally getting a prison down, but he landed another torrent in mid. Still getting harassed heavily by Tidebringer level 3. He's going to hit another one there. Look at this. He's already down to half health. He's getting absolutely wrecked by it.
Yeah, definitely needs those Tranquil Boots to actually maintain the lane, which is something you generally don't get to say when you're looking at TMW's OD, but in this situation, it's all too true. Up on top, we are seeing Bambo getting harassed pretty hardcore. There's going to be a 2-second stun to land it, and Lion's going to follow up with the Hex, going in for the Impale, but he's out of Sentry Ward range, and they're not going to actually be able to bring him down. Instead, CK taking a large number of auto attacks, and going to have to fall all the way back before actually making this work. Interesting that he picked up the Robe of the Magi to build up, most likely into treads, but picked up the Robe first so that he can have Intellect to actually try to get that kill, which so far has eluded them.
Yeah, I mean, he's got options. Obviously, he can use it to try and just get the extra mana. Could use it for boots. He could also choose, if he wants to, just build it straight into the drums as well. If he says, I just only want the base boots. So he's always got that option as well. So it's nice and flexible. Going to see Chen's creep possibly get picked off here by the Earthshaker. Just going to snag that. It looks like he's trying to get the block off. Succeeds with the block.
And then he persuades. Oh, that's nice. That was really nicely done.
Wow. That was good indeed. Beat is just really aggravating poor old NS there.
Yeah. So yeah, if they didn't catch, the viewers didn't catch that, he used Holy Persuasion to make sure that the Dark Troll Summoner would just die because he couldn't hold any more creeps, and as a result, he got the free block of the neutral spawn, even though it has been dewarded. And on top of that, he didn't feed any Golder experience away. So that was pretty nicely done by him, and he continues to farm with the jungle, make up for lost time, since he actually spent quite a bit of the first few minutes of the game not farming at all, and as a result is kind of behind in experience. Either way, some rune control with rotation from Io allows him to make sure that TMW won't be able to invis on up or fill up that bottle, which means he's going to have to crow it. Now going back up on top, Illidan taking some harassment from the Spiderlings, but obviously not too much kill potential until Bambo actually gets his enough mana for his spells, but instead underneath the Sentry Ward might get sprouted on up here. They get lots of stuns, but actually Sprout pushes him north, and he is out of Sentry Ward range, and they don't have any more sentries on hand. Bambo is safe and sound, at least for the moment. And
not only do you push Bambo away, but you trap Illidan inside the Sprout.
Ouch.
Not a great play for KSI. Pretty masterful nature prop usually, but right now not how. Oh, wow,
Bambo, nice.
What are you doing?
Oh, it was almost really good, but the Hex made it so that his invis didn't come online in time. Essentially, he got the nuke off to finish off the Lion after he'd been harassing him so extensively, but that left him susceptible to KSI. I'm not sure if he even had vision because of nighttime on the Prophet at that point in time, but either way, it was that Hex that kept him visible, and that's why he did end up getting dropped down, unfortunately.
At the very least, he just got off the spawn Spiderlings just in time and managed to snag the kill before getting taken out himself. So, in the end, he trades somewhat favorable for himself. I mean, right now, he's quite happy to pick off kills because he is just here to cause trouble. And cause trouble he is indeed. He needs to be careful. He knows there's still a ward down here that can see him, so he needs to be really cautious about this because at any point, Illidan might turn around and start trying to fight him. And, of course, he does his Soul Ring up now, so he's going to start spamming really, really hard. So it looks like... I like this ward here. It's another blocking ward. Gives vision to the rune, by the way. As well as just really, really going to slow down Chen. Just losing those creep spawns. Actually, how many... he should still have... He's still got that hard camp there, so no, he's not going to be that far behind. I thought that hard camp was also blocked. But yeah, 2 medium camps out at the moment because of these wards. Chen's jungle is kind of limited indeed. What we got here? I want to point out though that Demon has managed to really slow down Tamer Ball. Like he's been struggling to make much of an impact this game. Like he's gone for the same aggressive build. He opened up the Sanity Eclipse at level 6, and of course he's gone to the bolt. He wants to make magic happen, but he just can't. He's stuck here the whole time, like low health, because Demon is doing a really good job of harassing him, as well as of course picking him off earlier as well. Looks like Bambo now diving under a tower may in fact get Illidan. Illidan gonna go down here.
Yep. Dropped him down, damage over time ticks away, and they end up getting the kill. Unfortunately, Nature's Prophet just buying out his Midas means he could not buy Dust or Sentries, and so he's not going to be able to actually afford the opportunity to gank down on the Broodmother. And meanwhile, down on bottom, a couple right clicks will go the way of Fear finishing off that tier 1 tower. So a lot of cash coming on in with a nice solo kill up on top, and of course that tier 1 working wonders. And on top of that, JL has his bottle, which allows Fear to sustain indefinitely with a large HP tether pool. So, very, very nicely done for him. And yeah, this Broodmother's going to get more and more out of control. He's now level 8, moving into level 9. And be very afraid. If you don't have detection against this guy, he's just going to poke and prod with his unlimited HP pool, thanks to Webb's HP regeneration. And there's absolutely nothing that can be done about it.
I'm not too worried. Like, this is just it. Like, Broodmother, she's got really irritating push potential here. But of course, once this comes out, actually Arsad about to get picked off there. Fortunately, he's got absolutely no sustain. Wow, Spiderlings. I guess you need to be afraid in that case. But yeah, he's got no sustain at all. But this is it. Like, they should be bringing detection out here, at least near the, like, to stop the use of these particular webs. So
Fear ganking.
Dive in. Wow, Fear getting aggressive. Ops a 2-second stun, but they're probably getting Illidan. The slow is pretty damn hard, and there we go. The nuke comes out.
Wow. That is just so darn strong, and now they have so many Spider Rights and Spiderlings that they can go ahead and push on this tower with the Siege Creep active. The Wrath of Nature is coming up in 10 seconds, but not fast enough for them to actually be able to defend this, so they will just lose this Tier 1 tower. This might be the second one Fear last hits, and that GPM is going to skyrocket. Yeah, now 490 GPM for Fear. He already has Dominator. He can move in towards whatever the heck he feels like, most likely a BKB. Actually, on mid lane, Ida is getting crushed by so many friggin' Treants now. Body blocking up. They're going to be able to bring down his creeps as well. Doing a little bit of an annoying nuisance, but beyond that, they still get the kill that they were looking for. So that's what is most important about that. But OD just not finding as much farm as he has been in previous games. Moving in towards that mech very gradually. But at least for right now, he's going to take some time on it. Down on bottom, Wisp tethering away, trying to escape from a very big gank, but this Reality Rift should seal his fate here. So good maneuver by VP, closing in to finish him off and making sure they timed it so that IO didn't have any other tether options. But meanwhile, up on top, Bambo takes every opportunity that you put pressure out elsewhere to put pressure on your towers. And as soon as this Tier 2 drops, they're going to have to start worrying about their base.
See, this is what I don't actually hate what's going here. The fact that Virtus Pro going, alright, screw this noise, this is not working at all. Because the thing is, Bambo, what he's doing, right, this is really, like, Broodmother's good at doing this. Take Tier 1, take the Tier 2, and then what? Put pressure on the Tier 3 every now and then, but, you know, someone can come here and farm shitloads of Spirelings. There's always a problem. Like, Ursha can come in here. These Spirelings, especially with the bounty increase, they're worth a lot of money. And so Bambo says, alright, well, I push up to the town, then I've got to go on jungle. I can't really do a whole lot, because he doesn't bring anything to team fights is a problem. Now, if they just let this happen, like this shouldn't be happening, just letting him stack like a ton of damage on the town, that they should not be doing. Like, somebody should be ready to take this huge wave of Spirelings, preferably the Earthshaker. I mean, just give him, like, Visions, let him take this, let the supports farm off this. Is going to be, like, give them a ton of extra cash, just push it back out again. But and the other thing is, I mean, if they push in, like, you get an early gem, suddenly Bambo cannot use his jungle, like, can't use his webs in the jungles anymore. Oh, really? This is something we used to see against Idling as well, the Spider as well as the bottom lane, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be able to go in, close the distance. They do not get the tether stun on out of it. 2-second stun onto Fear, but it still should be enough to finish him off pretty easily. Doing a lot of damage here, but here comes Lion getting a single stun on out, and they're just going to relocate away. Earthshaker wasting his TP, and at best they can try to push in for the Tier 1, but if they do, again, Broodmother going to do some work up on top. Meanwhile, Tier 1 dropping down, with Fear getting another tower last hit. So much cash in this guy's purse. I always iterate on these big last hits on like towers and stuff like that for heroes like Phantom Assassin because they can do so much with a big item. You pick up like a BKB on her and she's just going to be able to run rampant. Already has Drums, Phase, and Dominator. Can stack up the Ancients a little bit, maybe bring those down pretty easily. But the most important thing is when she is fearless, jumping in with a BKB, there is no turning back. Virtus Pro are going to be on the ropes.
Oh yes, I definitely agree that that's going to be what they have to watch out. And this is why I want to say just like what Broodmother's doing here, just for the most part, ignore it as much as possible. Send somebody back to stop the pushes every now and then. Send somebody to like spot these webs up, make it hard for her to hang this close to base. Just keep it pushed out a bit. Keep pushed out a bit so she's not threatening the tower all the time. And then put pressure on Fear. Stop Fear from doing this. Do not let him sit in your jungle stealing it. That's going to be a nightmare to deal with. This, going after Demon, this is also worthwhile. Just picking people off, using the fact that they only have a 4-man team because Broodmother pretty much does nothing but this for the next 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons. We're going to actually see probably pick off on mid. He won't be able to finish it off before the prison comes out, but that just means Jo gets his own kill. With this haste rune active, he can go all day long, but hands it on over since Fear did get a chance to come on out of that. Of course, Jo could have snagged it with the urn, but saves it for the PA with that big coup de grace crit. Now relocating on, where are we going here?
Oh, wow.
Down on bottom lane, looking for an opportunity to finish off Lion here, and in 2 quick seconds, that is yet another dead hero for a double kill.
Gonna say Arsat. That was a pretty damn good stun there. Timed it just perfectly to catch both of them as they came out of the relocate. Unfortunately, it's only a level 3 stun, so it didn't last half as long as he'd like to keep himself alive. I think probably Virtus Pro's biggest problem here is they just don't, like, their lineup doesn't really have the AoE they need to clear these Spirelings. If they had something like a Sand King instead of the Earthshaker, they could just rip through it. Like every time Broodmother pushes up here, saying like, lol, free farm. Let me get this Blink Dagger. Let me get this Veil of Discord that I want to cause trouble. Unfortunately, Earthshaker can't really push it down quickly enough on his own, and Nature's Prophet can show up there, but unless he picks up something like a Maelstrom quickly, he's not going to be able to cut down the Spiderlings quickly enough, or even the massed up creep waves quickly enough to really have a good impact. And again, they're just not, like, they need to deny access to, what the hell? My mouse is going spastic. But they need to deny these webs here. Like, they really, either they get an early gem, force Brood, like, this is something we used to see. Broodmother would get really, really aggressive when she was sort of like first pick, first ban material. She gets stupidly aggressive, and then, yeah, people just do this. Get dust, get jammed, and just punish her every time she goes, you know what, you're a free kill, and just wreck her. Every time she did this. There we go. That's what they need to be doing.
Yeah, but the problem is it's taken this long to get to it. They smoke up every single time they look for a hero kill, so that costs them a little bit extra. And although it's absolutely worth it, how much time are you investing here, whereas elsewhere? The big thing about Broodmother is if you don't respect her and you don't respond to her, then you're going to lose a tower. If you respond with one person, Brood's going to get a solo kill. And if you respond with multiple, then the carries are farming across the map. So really, Evil Geniuses gets a win-win no matter what goes on, and that's the brilliance of this Broodmother pickup. The Earthshaker doesn't want to spend a slam on Spiderlings because the Brood's not going to be sitting on them. So essentially, because they don't have any spammy AoE, it's actually very difficult for Virtus Pro to deal with this. I mean, they have Fissure, they have the Earth Spike, but as far as actually like getting rid of Broodmother for good, you have to commit 3 or 4 heroes, and as we see, that only can accomplish so much. Though we do see now a smoke gank coming down towards bottom lane.
Yeah, I feel like it's mostly a drafting issue for them. My Broodmother's definitely a handleable hero, but it was I'm pretty sure it was the last hero pick too. Like, it was a really smart last pick by EG, throwing that in right at the end, just because I looked at the line and said, you know, you can't clear this. There's just no way for you to effectively clear the pushes really quickly, like cost efficiently and time efficiently more than anything else. Line finds Chen again and bursts him down there. But yeah, I mean, like, that's just what they need. Like something like Lina, something like Sand King, they could just blow through those waves so easily and just farm them to no end. And very, time efficient. It'd take them a few seconds to blow through that. I feel also the other thing, of course, I just feel like they just need the detection up here. Like Broodmother, like they kill her a couple of times. Like she can only do this so many times before she starts to hurt. If she gets picked off 2 or 3 times in quick succession, she's going to back off and go and farm elsewhere. Yeah. And that's where you get aggressive elsewhere on the map, I feel.
Sure. Now Bambo does have a BKB, and I feel like he could actually, as a result of this, get a lot more aggressive, but he needs a TP scroll on top of that, and that's not actually in his inventory at the moment. BKB just running, you'll get pretty far, but there are still Fissure blocks, there are still sprouts that he doesn't have trees to break, or tree cutters to break on through. So in that situation, Bambo just needs a Quelling Blade, needs a TV, needs something else along with that BKB to guarantee his security up on this top lane, and from there, yeah, you will be able to farm it up. Though I do like KSI's response here. He has picked up a Maelstrom, and when that procs, that is going to be doing a lot of work to clean up the Spiderites.
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely a possible choice there for them. It looks like they do have...
Oh, he's actually already has it.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's going to cause some trouble. Looks like a bit of pressure though on the bottom tier 2. They could probably clear this up. It looks like they're, right now, Virtus Pro are busy hunting for Broodmother. Not going to find her though. She's got an absolute ton of spiders there. Running around, and see, this is what they want. Like, they need to push it back, but they need to do it quickly and efficiently. And unfortunately right now Bambo is doing the best. Like, this is the best case scenario. Bambo is making them waste so much time that they lose that tier 2 on bottom.
Yeah, I hate to be like a negative Nelly or whatever, but I kind of feel like this game is all open and shut book. Fear is just so farmed. They're pushing on the tier 3s. They need a giant Echo Slam this very second, and they don't have a Blink Dagger. They just have NS walking on in. He'll hit a lot of creeps, but they will not give him the chance to bring down any heroes.
Well, I mean, that or they want a big EG throw. We'll see. I think EG, though, I think EG, they're playing this one smart. Like, they've really drafted well here. And the fact that now Broodmother, of course, the BKB, so that this is just going to keep them alive really well. I think the other thing that you can also rush, I think IE2000 used to love doing this also, he'd rush it to Manta style instead. Gives him so much speed in this web network, so hard to catch, so hard to shut down.
Wow.
Of course, also nullifies dust against him, but yeah, bottom lane, Reality Rift there, they're going to turn around though, but Fear now activates the BKB, there we go, the save there from Tamer Wild. He's getting hounded on though by Fear. Fear moving and looks for a crit, can he find it? Creep now blocking him, tries to get through, it looks like he's actually going to get away, doesn't find his crit.
Yeah, he's going to have to get relocated out really quickly. Fear, Jo going to take him on out of here. They get the Hand of God as well. But, the relocate didn't connect. Did it really take that long?
Finger of Death, he died.
It must have been like the last millisecond before they jumped on out of there. Either way, Finger of Death finished the job. Fear is here to stay, but at least the Tether Hand of God keeps him up at a sustainable HP, and meanwhile, Tier 3 drops on down bottom.
I mean, yeah, see, look at that Hand of God. It's like, what? It was like an extra of 300, 450 health. It's just so hard to bring him down when you've got that tether. And now this tier 3 tower even is falling so damn low. Fear's still pushing in here. He might even try and jump in the area. There we go. He goes in. Needs to be careful. Doesn't have the BKB up. Fear, too aggressive. Taking a lot of damage. Do they have another disable here? May actually get away. Fortunately, he's so damn quick. And blinks away to Bambo there.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Risky.
Whew, Torrent, boat down on bottom, along with the Torrent connects onto CK, but he doesn't get the Tidebringer cleave, just forcing him back, trying to do more damage to this Ancient, but he needs to run. The Fisher, or at least some stun from NS, is going to come out. There's the Test of Faith, and he is gone. Beat is, however, not so fortunate. The Aftershock comes on through, and that is one dead Holy Knight, so he gets picked. But as a whole, EG are happy with this situation. They kept everybody up. They only lost IO. And I almost actually was successful in getting on out of there. But one thing that you were talking about, the math on this Hand of God tether is actually really awesome for EG. When Hand of God hits, of course, heals PA for 200, and on top of that, it will heal through tether for 300 if the Wisp is missing 200 HP. So just rank 1 Hand of God totals up to 500 health. That's a very substantial portion of this PA's survivability, and on top of that, it's very effective health because of her relatively high armor and her evasion built into her character. It's just really, really hard to bring her down unless you have a heck of a lot of nuke, and of course when BKB's up, that's not an issue at all.
Yeah, I mean, had that Figure of Death come out a little bit earlier, like just a few seconds earlier, it would have shut down the Wisp. Like, this is, of course, the weak point here. The Wisp is the easy kill. And Lion did the right thing hitting the Wisp, but had he hit the Wisp before the Hand of God came out, that would have been a dead PA more than likely. They would have picked him off. See, Bambo just activates his BKB in time as Earthshaker gets slashed to death there by Fear. And now it's Chaos Knight's turn. He's going to be slowed. There's the 600 crit. Goodbye, Eladin. But I mean, if you want to see this tether in action, really, really good examples. Anybody who wants to see that, go back to the TI2 games, the group stage games, and look for some Dara matches. They were drafting CK, Wisp, and Chen in the same draft. And you would see Wisp, but it was Art Style as well, playing the CK. He would literally go 1v5. He had 5 heroes wailing away on him. Nobody, like at this point when nobody really realized, kill the Wisp. Just kill the Wisp quickly. They would just try and have 5 heroes drop CK, and they just couldn't. He just lived through it all. Granted, the rest of the game is just through entirely, but still, it was pretty funny to watch the CK just tank everything. Yeah.
Now we do see Fear, Phantom striking on out of there, and yeah, they're just going to be, again, just gradually slow sieging on the racks there. Now, it looks like the Tier 1's taking some pressure. Maybe some Fear wants to look into farming, but yeah, he gets a TP scroll from Jo and is able to head for the hills, trades it out for his Quelling Blade, and is able to pick up some nice cash. Now, looking at his net worth, 13,000, by and large, a lot further ahead than anything CK could bring. Now we do see, however, a big relocate save for Kunkka. Jo is most likely dead, but Demon is going to be able to get on out of there. Yeah, they break the tether. Jo's coming back, and I don't think he has anything to tether to. Now, Chaos Bolt will come across, and that will be his... Oh, Test of Faith, I forgot about that. Nicely done, Beataz. EG always do these really cool plays, whether it's like recalling during Omni Slashes, Test of Faithing different things. This is it right here, is Jo relocating, rubber banding back, and just pops off a Test of Faith, and he's on out of there. So that's just pretty much essentially when Chen TP's back to base, a guaranteed double escape, and that was just beautiful play from EG.
Indeed. In fact, we do have us out there typing nice, not bad. Now we're going to have a push in on mid from the Dire side. Maybe not, actually. I think they're just pushing the Crypt Web out a little bit, and they're going to back off. We should mention the Kunkka. Actually, Korea got sniped at some, but I didn't notice that. Didn't actually get picked off. But Bambo has been, like, he's just sitting up here the whole time. They've got some wards out, but there we go. Pops the BKB, and this is where it gets problematic, because now he's got this BKB. He's going to get some kills, and this is what... Sure, it's going to waste a lot of BKB charges, but Bambo doesn't care. As long as he picks off people and causes trouble, this is a win-win. This is a win for him. Even if he dies now, he's causing so much havoc and wasting so much time. It's a win for him. It's no way for, really, Virtus Pro to play out this. In fact, they're going to teleport top to try and stop this. Jo now. Is he going to go for it? No. Decides not to try and keep pushing. I mean, he could have just kept pushing in and then tried to tether stun backwards, or even have Fear just blink forwards as well. But they are, in fact, going to go up to KSI now. Oh,
Fear is kind of caught out. The Reality Rift actually canceled out the tether. PA gonna get rifted back. There's gonna be the stun. No, Fear turns it around with the BKB up, going on KSI hard. He will be able to sprout. He will be prisoned up. Fear has to go on the run. Plenty of things to strike to, but just falling back at least for the moment. Jo brings back a present, though. Demon comes on in, drops down the Torrent, drops down the boat, is going to connect onto TMW. Is enough damage? Yes, it is, with Fear jumping in once more. So much health. That Hand of God tether just keeps them going, and they get another kill. Buyback comes out from OD. They do lose Wisp. They also lose Brood up top. I think that was an Echo Slam. Nope, wasn't. They just were able to bring him down with Finger of Death, but still, so many kills in favor of VG, and they are feeling strong in this position here. Still haven't taken any racks 100% down, though.
That's okay. I mean, they've got time here. They're putting on so much pressure. Should mention gold chart, 15k in their EG's advantage, and experience-wise also the other big deal. Around about 8,000 lead for them there on top of that. Earthshaker just trying to get any kind of measly stats he can here, just trying to increase his mana pool. Like, Earthshaker really badly wants Arcane Boots just because he needs to increase that mana pool badly. Otherwise, it's pretty much you get 2, maybe 1.5 fishes and an Echo Slam because of that. So he's just going for a cheap null talisman to try and keep himself up there. Meanwhile, though, this amount of map control, the amount of pressure they're keeping on the Virtus.pro's base just gives them a free Roshan as well. And now they've got to contend with an Aegis on Fear, and the fact he's also buying up another major damage item here. He's picked up a Demon Edge.
That is horrifying right there. Second life on Phantom Assassin. There's nothing to be done almost. It's really dangerous, and the crits, of course, just tear things up very quickly. It's just, if there's a good RNG working for them, there's not going to be much that can be done. But still, Virtus.pro going to hang it in there. They do have Force Staff coming on up for OD to try to kite it on out. They do have things like Lothars. They do have Armlet. They have some basic core items. We'll just see if it can actually make it work. Nice Fisher coming out from NS, keeping him up. Demon goes ahead and just pops off the X marks the spot. Will be prisoned up. Really interesting little play there. But the boat is going to connect. No, just right clicks. Gonna go across Fear. Perfectly timed BKB, though. Gonna go up on the high ground. Team W, no prison available. Taking a lot of right clicks. Mechs on out. Is he gonna get out? Yes, prison saves him. Demon gonna get right click hard. Is it enough to finish him off right here? Yeah, the Kunkka's rum is hurting him more than the bottle can heal him. He's gonna get finished off here. Fear gets stunned up, but so does the tether. There goes on through. Illidan is just trying to escape with that Reality Rift. Not going to make it work, though. KSI on the run. Has his Shadow Blade. Going to try to use it. The Tether Stun will not connect. And instead, Fear moves over to the Tier 2 tower to finish that off instead. In the end result, 4 heroes in the grave for Virtus.pro. 2 down for EG.
I want to make a point that Phantom Assassin picked up a freaking monkey bar in the middle of that fight. And at this point in time, I feel like anybody, Chen, anybody should pick up a Medallion Approach. Any negative armor effects that they have will just allow PA to literally just one-shot people. And I mean, we saw how damn good that was with a Tinker previously. If you can just one-shot someone, just get lucky, just bam, somebody goes down. It is so hard to deal with, just these lucky, stupid crits. But there we go. Top Rax is in a seriously bad position. Will get taken out very easily. As we see, Jo being defended by Bambo, just trying to keep the Chaos Knight Illusions away from that. And there we go. Top Rax is down. Meanwhile, bottom Rax also being harassed by Chen's creep.
CK coming in on Fear. Will get the stun out, but at best they can take the Aegis right here. Actually strikes on out of a big ultimate. Team W drops the hammer, but only hits on one. Either way, they got the kill on the Brood. He buys back, and we're going to see the Aegis respawn. Fear immediately pops that BKB, goes hard. Oh, that crit. 1,200 damage coming on out to almost one-shot that line. Of course, he was rather wounded from the battle, but still allowing Fear to escape on out of here. No trouble at all. Still in pursuit. They don't have Force Staff yet. I don't think they're actually going to be able to finish the job.
I mean, the other problem is, of course, Fear has got the phase boots along with the treads. He is moving at 441 movement speed when he activates the phase boots. Unfortunately, they just cannot catch up to that because, of course, Chaos Knight pretty quick on his feet, just not quite as quick as he doesn't have those phase. They're going to throw out the stun. They will manage to land the torrent there with the X-Mark spot. Now we've got Fear coming back in, shredding Tamar Wild. He's got no hope at all by the looks of things unless they can get... Oh, man, he can actually get away. No, Blink Strike going to shut him down. And they will finish off Chaos Knight as well with a Test of Faith. And this is Rax number 2 coming right up because they do not have buybacks available for the OD. I don't think Chaos Knight has one up either. No, he is definitely short as well.
Yeah, just a rough situation to be in. I'm kind of surprised that Virtus.pro have absolutely no Ghost Scepters at all. I mean, I understand the supports are pretty underfarmed, but in general, like, this lineup doesn't have much magic nuke at all. It's essentially Kunkka's boat and Spirits and the Broodmother nuke. It's just like, there's so much physical damage they could be avoiding, but instead, they're just hitting this right here. They do get a Hex out on PA. They will go for the Impale, but it looks like Jo's here to save the day. Coming on in, trying to heal him on up, but the Tether's going to break on out. Fears on his lonesome. Just going to go ahead and finish off the line. No problem at all. And jump right out. Fear carrying up this game hardcore here and even gets earned to stay up in the action. Now KSI on the outer edges. Fear looking to jump on in. Lifesteal alone is sufficient to bring him down, but KSI wants the man mode. Are there going to be crits? There it is. Fear finishes him off hardcore. Meanwhile, everybody diving in the base. I think this one is it.
Yeah, I think Fear, like, obviously KSI knew the game was over, says, let me just try and fight him, see if I can pick up a kill here. Now we do have an Astral imprisonment there. We'll pop back up in a second. Chaos Knight jumping back out here. He is going to get torn to... Oh my god, 1300
Rampage?
No hope at all.
Could be. Coming across. TMW gets dropped. Ultra kill is up, but KSI ruins the fun. TP safely back to base.
Yeah, we'll manage to back off there. Oh, maybe not. I mean, he's back in Demons here. Is the timer up enough? No, never mind. Not going to happen.
There it is. 18 seconds is enough. It's going to be a double rampage. Comes out for Fear. Oh, goodness. That is just too much damage.
You get an item. You get an item, and I don't get a damn item. I've never picked up one of these damn items, but it looks like the viewers are going to be happy with that. In fact, we might even get another one here. There we go. There's the third one. 3 more people with items to boot.
Awesome. Just epic.
It's like Fear is freaking Oprah. Just hand him out. Why not?
Well, so looking over at the gold graph real quick to see how this summed up before the game itself does conclude. Actually, quick relocate to bring Demon where he wants to be. But yeah, over 20,000 gold advantage as well, looking at almost 17,000 experience. So really, really nicely done as a whole. There was no point in this game where they were at a significant disadvantage other than the first few minutes. But yeah, the end result, they are looking for the Ancient very shortly. That should be wrapped on up. There's one set of racks left. Virtus Pro holding on with everything they've got, but even if they do drop down now, it's not the end of the world. They still have another opportunity to come back on into this. This is the best of 3, still game 1, but EG, I'm going to say, have taken this game very nicely.
Yeah, I think mostly a drafting. I think just pretty much everybody's forgotten the Broodmother is definitely a viable option when the draft. Like, in the right situation, she's got some viability now. Yeah. Particularly, like, if you can't handle, like, if you need some spam nukes, sure, you've got stuff like Earthshaker, but low levels, like, the problem is not only do you need spammy nukes, but you need them available at low levels. Earthshaker cannot spam stuff at low levels. Level 70, he's got a fissure and that's it to try and clear creepers, because like you mentioned, does not want to burn Echo Slams on that. Not at all.
Exactly. Generally speaking, the 3 most viable options to deal with a Broodmother pick are Sand King with his Caustic and Sandstorm, the Tidehunter with the Anchor Smash maxing, he can go 1v1 versus her, and Darkseer with Ion Shell. Those 3 are essentially the best. Maybe Clockwork's more viable now, Rocket Flare spam or something, but generally speaking, those are the 3 heroes that a lot of players used to put, and a lot of teams in general, used to put 1v1 versus Brood, but in this situation, they tried to hold the line with a 2 versus 1 with some Nature's Prophet ganks. It didn't cut in this case, and that's the beauty of that 5th pick. EG able to catch Virtus Pro off guard just a little bit, and while they're torn 2 different ways, either PA was farming or Broodmother was pushing. One way or another, EG takes us very, very convincingly. Nice game for them, and end result, 714 GPM for Fear.